it's lovely to see this coming out. This is slow blossom. Beautiful. What the shape of them flowers. Spring has definitely sprung. This morning I'm at Clumber Park. I'm just in the entrance directly opposite the Clumber Hotel on the A614. I've got to walk all the way down there for today's quarry, which is an arachnid. It's one of the UK's rarest spiders, one thought extinct for many years until discovered a few years ago. It's on a little area of heathland and lives under heather. That's my quarry on this visit. Clumber Park is very different to the Sherwood Forest area. The woodlands complete opposite to anything that you'll find within the Sherwood Forest Country Park. It's a broader mixture of broadleaf trees, but also plenty of coniferous woodland here as well. Obviously the majority around the chapel area and where the old house used to be is your typical sort of parkland habitat. But there's a lot of lowland heath here at Clumber, and it's a little bit of lowland heath that I'm heading to in search of this spider. Well, that scene takes me back a bit. In the good old days, you could drive into Clumber. None of it was gated off like it is now. In fact, some of the old entrances are barriered off. This is the Hardwick end of Clumber, and down the bottom of the lane that you can see here, there was always the Flash. It was a regular meeting place for myself and a number of other bird watchers, just to spend an hour gossiping and seeing what waders dropped in. There were good days when you could drive around Clumber. It used to be one of the best sites in Nottinghamshire for hawfinch. If you got here very early in the morning, you didn't have to pay for one thing because no one were on the gates, and often you'd get hawfinches in the old hornbeams around the chapel. Those were the days. Tree behind me that I was gawping at, it's a fantastic specimen of lime. Whether it's normal lime, Tilia cordata, or the small leaf lime, Tilia something or other, it's a fantastic tree. Of course, Clumber is renowned for Lime Tree Avenue. I can't remember how many trees are on it. No doubt someone's counted them. This part of Clumber, I'm south of the lake and I'm heading down to a point north of the South Lawns area. This part is incredibly quiet. Yet at one time, there used to be regular traffic. This road that I'm on now, you could come in off the A614 and this road took you down to Clumber Bridge. I'm not going that far, thankfully. But I've hardly seen a soul while I've been here. But aren't they just magnificent trees? Well, this is the area of Clumber known as the South Lawns. Lies directly across the Clumber Lake from the chapel. It's just an area of grassy heathland. The area that I'm after is just off in front of that bit of woodland on the right hand side. That's the haunt of the spider that I'm after. And this is it. This is the area where I'm basing my search. And I'm basing my search on this area due to the fact that this is where I found a couple of specimens 2 or 3 years ago now. The species in question is the spider with the common name the diamond-back spider, otherwise known, if I remember correctly, because there's no internet here, as Thanatus formicinus. It's a cracking thing, and they should be approaching adult now. When I looked for them a few years ago in 2019, or it might have been early 2020, they were only sort of juveniles to sub-adult at most. It'd be nice if we could find one. They live under the heather. It's a case now of me lifting suitable heather where the heather can be lifted away from the grass and then staring. Often gain some suspicious and strange looks from the public if they happen to be walking past, but by the looks of it, this South Lawns area is locked off at the moment. I don't know how I've got here. It's a mystery. It's a case of doing this, lifting the heather, and then you look at the movement. There are, of course, a number of spiders that are here. Zora spinimana is the commonest. You've lifted some heather up. You can carefully just rummage around in the leaf litter. Well, I've just moved to a new area. I've tried the area that I last showed you. Been there an hour and turned loads and loads of heather over and no sign. This is my last port of call. I'm going to have a look here for half an hour and see if I can turn it up. Otherwise, I think I've drawn a blank today. Can't have it every time though, can you? Right, I remember that heather, where the heather can be easily lifted up, where it is against grass, was always the best place for this species. Mind you, that's what I've been trying, but there's been a lot of scrub removal in there, so the habitat's changed a little bit, but I think the spider should still be in there. In the meantime, it's a case of on the knees, getting in amongst this lot. Now, I've just found this larval case, so I was just going to film a scene with me leaning on this. And just there, look, is a young, part-grown larval case of Luffia furcatella, which is one of the Psychidae moths. In fact, there's another one tucked just in there, look, even smaller. These cases are the easiest of all the Psychidae moth cases to identify because they are always curved. It's like a horn. But this is only 3.5 to 4 millimeters in length at the most. And that, I believe, is a new species for Clumber. Well, it's been a pleasant enough morning. Had a couple of hours here, but no sign of the target species, the spider Thanatus formicinus. I've seen and found a few other bits though. Engrailed. There's Pamen giganteana. Had a couple of those to allure that I put out for a couple of minutes, but I have seen them flying around. They are quite easy to see and find just flying around. And that's certainly new for Clumber. But no Thanatus formicinus. It seems like that's one for another day. It's been pleasant though, nonetheless. And now I think I've got to walk that way. He's about as good as I'd be if I was to go on a bike. If you want to come to Clumber and you want to come to a quiet part of Clumber, then I'd recommend parking on the 614 near the Clumber Hotel and walking in that way. If you come south of the lake, you're in for a quiet couple of hours or so. This is the nicest part of Clumber to me. The visitor centre and the chapel area just gets too many visitors. Anyway, no spider, no Thanatus formicinus. At least when I get home, I know there's a pint of lager waiting for me. There may be two.